My name is Deanna. I'm sitting here in my cozy living room, my daughter Lena babbling happily in her high chair, and I can't help but think back to that fateful Christmas Eve. It was a night filled with false cheer. Our house was full of family, the air warm with the smell of baked goods and wine. My husband, Ethan, looked every bit the perfect man in his new suit. He was the sales director of a well-known tech startup, and everyone adored him. I was wearing a pale blue dress, just as he liked, smiling at relatives and serving drinks. But inside, I was a storm of calm determination. When the main course was served, Ethan tapped his glass and announced he had a surprise for me. He pulled out a plain white envelope and placed it in front of me. I stared at it for a few seconds, then slowly opened it. Divorce papers. I looked up at him, his eyes full of anticipation, waiting for me to break down. But I didn't. I signed them calmly and slid them back. Then I took out a small gift box I'd prepared. Inside was the prenuptial agreement he'd signed in a drunken stupor almost a year ago. His face paled as he flipped through the pages. And then I gave him an ultrasound image. "I'm 8 weeks pregnant," I said softly. It was a moment of sweet revenge. But it didn't happen overnight. Let me take you back. I grew up in a small town in the outskirts of Seattle. My parents were hard, working people. My father was a carpenter, a man of few words, but with a heart of gold. My mother was a schoolteacher, kind and nurturing. They taught me the value of hard work and integrity. I met Ethan at a business event. He was charming, confident, and 5 years older than me. I was immediately smitten. We got married, and at first, it seemed like a dream come true. He was the life of the party at company events, while I faded into the background. But behind closed doors, he was a different person. His words were like venom. He'd make off, hand remarks that chipped away at my self-esteem. Once, he told me I looked lovely in my red dress, but a year later, he criticized me for wearing it, saying it was too attention-seeking. After that, the dress never saw the light of day again. I started to withdraw from my friends and family. My whole life revolved around his moods. I was constantly on edge, afraid that one wrong word would lead to his mockery. One night, I saw a message on his phone. It was from a woman, saying lunch with him was fun. When he came back, he just brushed it off, saying it was just a colleague. I wanted to believe him, but deep down I knew. At his company's year-end party, he was more reckless than ever. He said cruel things in my ear on the dance floor, and I felt like my heart was breaking. But that night, I had a plan. I'd prepared a prenuptial agreement on many sleepless nights. He was drunk, so when I asked him to sign it as a fun promise, he did without a second thought. After that, I started gathering evidence. I tracked his movements, noted down the times he came home late, and the strange receipts in his pockets. I played the perfect wife, making his favorite breakfast, dressing as he liked, and praising him in front of others. But inside, I was planning my escape. In mid-December, I overheard him and his friend, Jake, in the study. They were laughing about how I'd cry when he gave me the divorce papers at Christmas dinner. That was the moment I knew it was time. I gathered all the evidence, sent a copy to my lawyer, and waited. And then came that Christmas Eve. After that night, everything fell apart for Ethan. He lost over 70% of our shared assets, including the house. His career took a nosedive. People who once admired him started to avoid him. I, on the other hand, started to rebuild my life. I repainted the house, filled it with plants, and started painting again. My cousin, Ava, who is 3 years older than me, moved in when I was 6 months pregnant. She brought so much warmth and laughter into the house. Now, as I look at Lena, I know I made the right choice. I'm free from the prison Ethan had built around me. I have a new beginning, filled with love and peace. And I know that I am everything without him.